Oh, sorry. Recording.
Cool. All right, we've just shut the door and we're here for a CAS meeting with Olivia Craig in the military for CAS. It's the 18th of November 2013 and we'll just have this a bit of a record of our meeting. So who wants to start? Olivia, I've got your page open. So what I'd like you each to be able to talk me through is how your CAS is going up to date, your impressions of how the program's been, your plans for CAS in the future, and particularly your project and those sorts of things. So, do you want to start?
Okay. Well, a few of my CAS activities.
Closer so that you're involved in it.
I've completed a few of my CAS activities, which is West Side Story and
Yes.
the Carry Courts, the retirement home.
Yes.
I'm in the process of signing those off.
Right, so that means you need a supervisory report.
Yep, so I do.
You have for that for one of them, don't you?
I have that for the Carry Court, but not for
Right.
West Side Story.
Okay, right. So that'd be great, and that way we can sign off as completed.
Yep.
Some of the things that I'm noticing in some people's kind of setup for their journal is that the dates at the start aren't right. So you start date and you finish date need to match up with sort of the dates. Sometimes people, said, I finished in April, but it's still going. So yeah,
Yeah.
right. That's great. All right. So yeah, supervisory report, that's important to be able to load up. You can either use the version that's in the CAS book that I think you've got access to a soft copy of, or you can just email them straight from the ManageBack system.
Yeah.
Either of those is fine. Okay. So, all right. In terms of your activities, have you enjoyed those? Have they been? What have you enjoyed about them?
Well, I enjoyed mainly probably the Carry Court one. I enjoyed because I actually could talk to the other people and kind of
Yes.
get stories from them. It was nice to see their reaction and how they appreciated the other person comes to talk to them. So it was kind of fulfilling in that sense. Yeah.
Oh, that's great. Now, one of the things I've noticed in your record keeping is that your reflections for that aged care are very skinny.
Yeah.
They're very brief. So you probably, and I'd say this applies to a lot of people, a lot of the reflections are just talking about what you did, but I really need everyone to talk about what, in terms of the CAS outcomes. So how was it collaborative? How did you apply were ethical issues involved? What initiative did you show? You kind of need to talk that talk.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what I'm looking for, and I know the idea I'm looking for rather than this is what I did, And the same applies for your Duke of Edinburgh things. Massive long entries.
Yeah.
It was like a real wall of words.
Yeah.
So maybe a few paragraphs might help. But also, whereas it's an effective record of what you did, we're really looking more at kind of your motivation and achievement of outcomes. So I'd like you to go back to both of those and just do a summative comment about whatever, and it's kind of what you have to do for the report. Like how have you achieved your CAS outcomes? Basically, you can put, the same sort of thing in. All right, this is how I achieved this outcome. If you've toggled it and said this is the one I'm working on, you need to actually explain how you've achieved that one, how you set it up and how you achieved it. Is that all right?
Yeah.
I know that's, backtracking a little bit having to do that, but that's fine.
Yeah.
We can cover that. All right, tell me about some of your other activities. You've got your CAS project.
Yep.
It needs to have one of you, I've just noticed another thing in your documentation. You haven't tagged two elements. You need to say whether it's creativity and service or action and service. So you need to go to the setup of that. And which two is your CAS project?
I'm doing the poems. I think it's more of an action and service to actually physically.
Yep, I agree with that, and that's fine. So if you do that, and you need to be able to explain how that's going. So talk to me about how the pond project is going. There's an email from you in my inbox about that, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, all right, that just came a little while ago.
Okay. Well, we've been having a few meetings, kind of wanting to set a few goals that are attainable by the end of the year, that we can work on as soon as you get back next year. And we were discussing maybe if we could have a few sessions on the weekend or something to de-lead the pond, because we've noticed that we have alternative rosters, so one group does the de-leading one week and the other group does it the other week, and it grows back really quickly.
Sure.
So we're thinking of ways of kind of overcoming that.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. That's fine, though it might mean either Dr. Davis or me coming in for a weekend, so that's kind of a little, maybe a bit outside the brief of
Yeah.
What we do, though, if it's something that's really important to you, we're happy to back you up there. Okay. Right. All right. Just looking at my notes. There's also, in terms of your outcomes, the global outcome. How are we achieving a global perspective? Only kind of identified one area where you're doing that. So you probably need to work on that one. Can you think of anywhere where your CAS is reaching out and making that global connection? I can.
really think of ways.
Can I help you out?
Please.
It's a good CAS school. So that's important that we have for the Indigenous perspective in the pond. That you really are looking at that from a global point of view, that it's not just sort of like a North Sydney thing, that you're seeing that what you're trying to achieve in working in the pond is your awareness of the Aboriginal protocols, Aboriginal culture, and that's not just something that exists here in North Sydney, that's Indigenous identity's got a global story. So to try to build your connection with that, that may not be apparent to you right now, I'd like you to work towards that. All right, does that sound fair enough?
Yep.
That's all pretty horrible. You've been on the spotlight for ages now. Okay. I'll come back to you in terms of your plans for the future after I work over this bullshit. So Emma, talk to me about your CAS.
The actual CAS itself is going well, the login of it not so well at all. I've been doing all three of them.
Yeah.
I've been doing creativity, action and service pretty consistently, I think. I do tutoring every week for at least 1 hour. I do Zumba, and then for my creativity, debating's finished, I think. I started up something else, I've forgotten what.
Well, I've got your thing here, so let's have a look at it.
Okay.
So you've got French and maths tutoring. Is that still current?
Maths is and French is.
Okay. West Side Story's finished.
Yes, I'll get that sent off.
Zumba is your action.
Yeah.
So you're saying, and Archdale is your creativity. So you've got creativity for Arch. Oh no, Arch, that's finished, hasn't it?
Yeah, that's
So your creativity, I presume, is linked in with your Bhutanese computer drive.
Yes.
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 That's anyone that I can see it's happening with.
Okay. Do you want me to get another one, or will that?
No, I'm happy for you don't have to do your CAS project and multiple others.
Okay.
Your CAS project is part of what you do.
Sure.
That's fine. As long as you've got a rich program that ends up with about 8 things minimum overall that you're doing, and you're well on the way to that. But I actually need to see some creativity with that. I don't know whether it's a Wiltshire trait of struggling to do meaningful reflections, that they're very good at talking and the gift of the gab and explaining stuff, and maybe this video thing is working well for you. However, your written stuff is
atrocious.
I'm not going to use the word atrocious, I'm glad you did. It could improve.
Yes.
It's not quite on track. Is that euphemistic enough for okay.
You phrased it very nicely.
Yeah, I can be actually much harsher though, and if you genuinely want to have a CAS project with one reflection that really says nothing of what you've done, and I'm talking to you, I know you've done it, but it's a little bit in the category of, if no one saw that tree fall in the forest, did it really fall? If you haven't documented it, have you done it? And that's a required thing. So you need to change your habits on that.
Right.
Is that fair enough?
Yeah, it is.
Is that too harsh?
No.
You also had accidentally put French peer tutoring and maths peer tutoring as projects, and West Side Story as projects. Can you see these little things here? And you need to go into them, and we will edit this activity, and it's not a project.
Oh,
You've got one project, okay?
Yeah.
So we go back, and so I had to change those for some of your things today, and I hadn't done it for there. So you've really only got one project,
Yes, yeah.
pretty much. Do you understand?
I do.
Right, okay. So you can see that's been taken off. So that's your project. It needs a lot more documentation in terms of who you're working with, what goals you're setting. It's really for something that you say started in September and now it's November, you need to really put some detailed stuff in on that, okay? And that needs to happen here and needs to happen in the CAS report, your sign-off report for the year. All right, Archdale's, do you have you don't have a supervisor report for Archdale, do you?
No, I'll get to
You need to get that. You need to do that, and then we can have those as closed and the little tick with the supervisor report and stuff like that. Do the same with your tutoring. Zumba's going ahead.
Yes.
All right, you seem to enjoy that.
Love it.
Talk to me about what you like about your projects. I mean, what your activities.
Okay, so with Zumba, it's now like one of my favourite things to do. I absolutely love it now. I'm good at it now. My instructor said that I should be an instructor too, which is good.
So like a little instant test could be, like I've got some Zumba music here on the computer and I might just play that. Would you mind just standing here and doing a demonstration? Joking.
Okay.
Sorry, I interrupted you.
That was all for that. For tutoring, the reason why I'm still doing it now is just because I actually genuinely really enjoy like sort of passing on my little study habits and things to remember, especially for languages, because I like to think that I'm good at remembering certain things in French, which I know help when you're younger.
Okay. All right, now the Bhutanese computer drive. You have taken on a huge task here, and I really admire it, but let's just have a little bit of a verbal update on what you've done and where you're going, because this is, it's not living in Management at the moment. It needs to live there.
It's not really living outside of Management either right now. I'm still looking at how to send it over, because Post Australia won't send it because it has batteries in the computers, and so I'm probably going to go through Pack and Send or FedEx or something like that, probably Pack and Send. Pretty much I'm going to do crowdfunding, so I need to make a video for possible, and I'll do that either like early holidays, before the holidays, that sort of time.
Okay.
Get that up and running so that over the holidays I can
Do you have a target budget that you want to get through crowdfunding?
That's what I have to ask on Pack and Send.
All right, okay. And where are all the computers coming from again?
NAB. Yeah, I've got a family friend who has, they just recycle their old computers.
And it's desktops or is it laptops?
We've got 15 laptops.
Right, that's what you're planning to do?
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so you've achieved the crowdfunding, you package up the things. How is that an ongoing project? What sort of things are going to be part of what you're involved with? Because to me that seems like it's got a fairly short time frame. It's supposed to be an extended commitment, and also I don't know how you're working cooperatively with other people, which is one of the criteria.
I think first of all, it's going to extend over the time to do the crowdfunding, but also part of possible is that after you've raised all the money and distributed it and done what you want to do with it, you have to then get thank yous back to the people, just little tokens of gratitude to the people who donated. And I was planning on doing something along the lines of, if the computers go to schools, getting the kids to send a letter or something like that back to the people here who have donated to the money. So hopefully that's going to make it extend longer.
All right, okay. Look, that sounds interesting. I think we probably need to spend some time brainstorming on that one. Is that all right?
Yeah.
Just seems like it's just a bit thin compared to the kind of projects that other people are involved with. All right? Lofty ideals, so it's wonderful. But and it's such a remote one that's part of the challenges too that we have to acknowledge. All right. Okay. So just to finish off, what's coming up with your CAS?
I'm going to restart the service for next year.
Yes.
So that I've got more hours to do with that. And
So what have you got in mind?
I was thinking of applying back, because I used to do voluntary work at the local vets, at Tower Vets. So I was thinking of going into that. And I'm maintaining my orchestra and also maintaining sport and everything, so I'll be doing that for next year.
All right. Okay. So with that, come in. Actually, we're finished. You'll have to come back another time. Sorry. It was the start of lunch. Okay?
Second half.
No. Okay, we're in the middle of videoing, so you need to come back another time. Sorry. Okay. Or you can wait out there. If we finish, we might do another session. Okay, Okay, that sounds good. Do you know about, I think up on Monty Connect in the community and service section, there's an invitation to do service activities with a camp for disabled kids with Riverview.
Yeah, I've heard about that, yeah.
Is that something you'd be interested in?
Is that one that's junior holidays?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, because I think I'm looking into
I'm not suggesting you have to do that or anything, but if you're looking for more service, that's one that's there and it gets you kind of into a broader context.
Yeah.
And outside of Monty, that sounds good.
Oh,
You have a look at that one?
Yeah.
All right, what else is planned for your future? Clearly you've got your ongoing commitment with the CAS project.
Yeah.
What are the elements that you think you'll be doing?
I was also going to do volunteer work for the musical for
Oh, excellent. Okay. All right. Well, that might be good in terms of it cutting a little bit of holiday stuff,
Yeah.
as well as something to mix in as well.
Yeah.
That sounds great. All right. And your action is covered?
Yeah.
How?
was doing netball and I was doing swimming after school.
All right. Excellent. And you're still going to be doing that?
Yeah, swimming.
Nice. Okay. Thank you. And is swimming in your managed bag?
I haven't had it because I started it this term.
All right. Okay. Well then,
Yeah.
I was wondering about that. So that needs to happen. All right.
Yeah.
Can you do that for me this afternoon?
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you. Future?
My future, I'm also going to be doing the musical. I'm going to be doing lighting and tech and things like that.
Oh, brilliant. Next year?
Yes.
You guys are going to be busy. All right. Yeah.
So, and then tutoring. I've still got. I think I'm going on one more night patrol this year, which I haven't looked at all yet.
So how many of those have you done?
2.
Look, to some extent, it's not really necessary. Like, I'm happy if you do it,
But, I do
but you've got to
it.
actually do, like, you don't need 7 services happening at the same time.
Okay.
You know, you've got service happening with your tutoring. You've got parts of your service happening with your other program. That's kind of fine, you know. It looks like, you know, everyone doesn't need multiple CAS things, you know. You just need one to be happening.
Okay.
All right, so, all right. Okay, well that's good, and I think great that you're involved with the musical next year. And I think what's nice is that you've got a lot of things that are Monty-based, but you've got the Bhutanese computer thing to give you that global thing and that work outside of the college.
Yeah.
So it's good to have that balance of either. All right, well, look, that's fantastic. I think we can stop the tape now. Thank you for your time today.